Is there a deeper purpose behind this caste discrimination bill that Equality Labs is spearheading? Well, I was looking at the recent report that Disinfo Lab has put out, and I just took one of their drawings, and then it struck me that there is a deeper motive. Whether I'm right or wrong, you can decide by way of comments, by writing in the comment section, well, Sri, you are wrong, or well, Sri, you are right. So before we start that, I want to ask you guys one question. How many of you know about Project Joshua? It's a project out of Colorado Springs in the state of Colorado and Dalit Freedom Network. Have you heard that? Well, if you have not, you should read Rajiv Malhotra ji's Breaking India. That is the basis for this. That's where this Breaking India book came about. In fact, that's when India's eyes got opened to this nefarious conversion network that was already in place. If you want to know how many people of a particular community are there in a particular district in India, you can get better, more accurate information by going to Project Joshua's website than in the Indian government's website. If you don't believe me, go play for it yourself. You can take a look at it. I'll try to put the link to Project Joshua's website. I played around with it some time ago, and it just hit me like, oh my goodness, there is so much research that has taken place, because I don't believe even Indian government has done the research to that depth. You know why? Because India stopped collecting the caste information of every citizen in India a long time ago. Nehru banned it. So I don't think the Indian government has any idea of the accuracy of how many people belonging to a particular caste. So you can have the names increasing or decreasing. There is no way to check whether it is right or wrong. That's just my 2 cents. Because why I say all this is because you can go to any village munsif and say that, okay, I need a caste certificate, and he'll take some money from you, and then he'll ask you, what would you like to be? And then you can decide what you would like to be, and ergo you are from that caste. That is how much of a joke this is, but that also tells you that once somebody starts getting these lower caste benefits, then basically you are depriving of an honest person of the same benefits. There is no check mechanism right now. Anyway, I'm going off topic here. I'm going back to what I wanted to open your eyes to. And before we jump into this topic, I want you to listen to a quick teaser. Well, you saw that there are 2 slides there. The first slide tells you where it all began. From 1981 to 2011, there was a guy called V.T. Rajshekhar, and that's where the whole thing begins. And I'm going to walk you through that thing in some detail now. But see how something that was something has morphed into something else. And people have jumped in. You will know all the money that has been put into this by various entities, and you can see that here for yourself. Here we go. All right, let us start from the bottom center, V.T. Rajshekhar. He was the founder of Dalit Voice, a paper magazine that used to run out of Bengaluru. He has been jailed a couple of times for unlawful activities, but this is where this first Dalit Voice, Dalit this, Dalit that started. And then that somehow morphed into Dalitistan in 1999 by a US missionary. See, this period where, I don't think Christian missionaries have stopped coming to India for like 100, 200 years. I remember even in small villages, they would show a picture, and then they have a certain formula. They show a picture and then they'll show sick people coming, and then somebody will be touching them, and then that person will get saved. In fact, now you see these enactments, right? All these pastors will come and perform on the stage, and people who have, life-threatening illnesses are suddenly cured. All bunkum. But people who are, impressionable get impressed. In fact, believe it or not, Kamal Hassan, who now he says is a practicing Christian, he himself pokes fun about this in one of his movies. So it's just I think it is something, I don't remember the name of the movie. Caste is the song that comes in that movie. If any of you know, you can put it in by way of comments. Anyway, so this Rajshekhar guy's effort morphed into Dalitistan, and this is where the Project Joshua comes into picture. And then from there, this thing had a replica. In 2011, you had something called as a Dalit Nation, and enter Tenmuri Soundararajan. She was active in this. She's an alum from University of California at Berkeley. I'm sure that is the place where she came into contact with Huma Dar, who is allegedly has ISI links, and her daughter Natasha Dar. And Natasha Dar and Tenmuri and one other person, Mary Zwick Maitreyi, who people say that that name is a fake name, doesn't even exist. They think it is somebody else. So essentially, I don't know what that Goodle is, that goof up is. But these are the three people who wrote this caste discrimination report. Terrible report. In fact, it was rejected by the court in the only case they tried to use that as proof. And still, these people are strutting about as if they are the be-all and end-all of caste discrimination. I don't know when this bomb's going to blow up on their faces. At this point of time, they are extremely cocky and arrogant. But let's wait and see how this plays out. Anyway, so she was part of this Dalit Nation. And then in 2014, she got some funding from open source. All the data is in one reference that I'm going to give you from this Disinfo Lab. You can go take a look at that. In 2016, she formed Equality Labs, but until 2022, this was a for-profit organization. I think now she has changed that. Right? This is not something right or wrong. What is more important is how this organization that was also an anti-India organization then slowly morphed into caste, because perhaps somebody who was funding Tenmuri, I'll tell you who that is, sense that there must be a parallel that can be created. You had a critical race theory being constructed. They found that this girl is a fairly good PR person. Maybe she said, okay, you run with this. Instead of critical race theory, you form critical caste theory, and let's go and sock it to the Hindu Americans. This, I will show you how the Democratic Party's footprints are all over Equality Labs funding. And because it started there, and then George Soros came, and he has been, nursing it and watering it. It's not just George Soros. There are other people also, Ford Foundation, Peri Omidyar. So this thing runs deep. They have a lot of money. I'll share all that information with you in the next slide. That's where I want you to actually spend time. Here is the main important one. Remember I told you about V.T. Rajshekhar? His paper, Dalit Voice, was active from 1981 to 2011. Dalitistan started in the United States around the 1999, I believe. This Project Joshua was an offshoot of all that stuff. And then Dalit Nation started in 2011. This is where Tenmuri Soundararajan comes into picture. Then she started Equality Labs in 2016. That was started by her and Sharmin Hussain, a Bangladeshi American. And now she's not there. The whole Sharmin Hussain's references, Natasha Dar's references, even Huma Dar's references are sanitized. You will pick it up here and there in some of their older documentation, because they want to now project themselves as the champions of caste discrimination. This is Dalit Diva you're talking about. How dare you, question us, our motives, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so the first grant for Equality Labs came in 2017 in the form of $600,000 from New Media Ventures. I have done a separate video on that. I'll put that link also in this. You can look it up. That New Media Ventures is completely filled with Democratic rank and file. The current chairman was working in Obama's office. Again, all the data, I think his name is Clarissa something. You can get all that information in the link that I'm going to give you, because I already covered this at some length. Now, the interesting thing is the EL funding since 2017 to now, New Media Ventures has pumped in $2.6 million. And Open Society Foundation, and along with Ford and Peri Omidyar, they have pumped in a further $1.17 million. So these people are really loaded with money. There's a lot you can do with this kind of money. I'm told that now Equality Labs has a fairly big staff. This girl is jerking about here, there, everywhere, trying to spread the caste discrimination, caste awareness. In her view, she was born here, then how she knows anything about caste discrimination, where she suffered caste, all made up, cooked up stories. The fact is that the one case they tried to use this theory has fallen flat. Let's just keep that in mind. They have no case, but yet they want to keep on fanning the flames of this anti-India ecosystem. And now you have a new Open Society vice president in India. His name is Salil Shetty. He started in 2021. And you know who he is? He is the son of V.T. Rajshekhar. We've come full circle in 30 years. Or 1981 to 2023. That is 42 years. You have come a full circle. All these people spending their lives hating India, hating anything to do with India, and getting paid for it big time. I mean, this is where things stand. I don't know what Soros or Ford Foundation or any of these people stand to gain by doing this. All I can say is it's peanuts for them to just keep on keeping the pot boiling in India, to try and check India's progress, to make sure that India doesn't run away like the way China has. Now, if you go and look at how China has managed and maintained and controlled some of the big Wall Street people as well as big companies, that's a story in itself. I'll cover that separately. A fascinating amount of information, treasure trove that I got. I'll be talking about that in a future episode. For now, this is where this thing ends. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. We really need you to subscribe to our channel. What I'm noticing is 1 in 2 of you have not subscribed yet. I urge you to subscribe to our channel and help us grow, because we need to hit the 1 million mark as quickly as possible.